Next one, yeah. The next one. You gonna let it play? Okay. What you see, you can be a baby or a star. All you got to do is convince them that you are. Convince them that you are. That's why I want to sing this one, because the background vocals are a little crazy. Convince them that you are. You're underlining all the words that I'm spitting, slap, boxing, popping, words for the hit and see we go in this ring fighting and come out writing, speaking in tongues, ironically hung to the society. See, don't let nobody steal away your right to be free. Capture your essence, capitalizing your absence. Will tell you that the value of the chosen few won't be diminished if you allow them all to finish what they start. Seeing Philly cross the street from all art history is where we should lie futuristically. Keep up the fight and we will be obsolete like the streets get paid to the roads are complete. Democracy upheld to the system conquers and beat to victory with the agony of defeat. Fight till your feet fail you. After that your mental will sell you ashore. Fight till your rights are restored. Till the alarm is on, the bell is rung, and you won. What you think about, you bring about, envision all the things to pull you out your hole. Your soul can control your destiny. What you see, you can be. Baby, you're a star. All you got to do is convince them that you are. Convince them that you are.
Welcome to Straight Up. I'm Stella Winston. You are listening to Oh by, and I have in the studio two women who are very much in control. Filmstress Nicholle LaVann and filmmaker, documentarian Julia O'Farrow. I'd like to welcome both of you to Straight Up.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, very glad to have you. Now, both of you are currently working on projects. Nicholle, you're working on the Betty Tyson Story. It's completed, actually.
Actually, yes.
And Julia, you have a work in progress called And the Money Will Follow. So I can't wait to hear all about both of those projects. Mm-hmm. But I know that the two of you have met before. How did the two of you meet?
Well, we met at Real Sisters Film Festival here at LIU, mm-hmm. and also we met at the Women of Diaspora Film Festival that was also at LIU, and that's when I first met Julia O'Farrow, mm-hmm. and that was a pleasant experience, and she's such a beautiful person and inspiration in my life now.
That's so nice. That was so nice. And that was sponsored by, that was put together by the Brooklyn Arts Council in conjunction with Links, mm-hmm. the Links organization. And matter of fact, I was in the festival the year previously, so it was a very supportive and mm-hmm. nice festival to be a part of.
And by her being a part of that festival from last year, it allowed me to actually take home a Filmmakers Award, the Brooklyn Links Chapter Filmmakers mm-hmm. Award, and I want to say thank you to them mm-hmm. For viewing my piece and accepting it and thinking that that piece was worthy of accepting a Filmmakers Award.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, what is the Betty Tyson story, and what motivated you to do her story?
Well, basically, Betty Tyson was a woman that was locked up 25 years ago. There was a play that was done about her called 25 Years to Life, and I did the documentary called 25 Years to Freedom. Her story is very traumatic. It's about a woman of color that was beaten into a confession after 14 hours, and she spent 25 years of her life in jail. And me being a victim of police brutality, I felt I was obligated that I had to tell this woman's story, and I need to document it and let the world know. And basically, I've been showing it from Rochester to Buffalo to New York City, and I've gotten very good responses from it, and Betty has enjoyed the piece thoroughly herself, and I look for more feedback, and I'm working on more prison films now.
Now we actually have 3 clips mm-hmm. from the documentary, mm-hmm. Betty Tyson. Now let's set up the first one. Mm-hmm. What are we going to see with the first one?
The first one is basically the beginning of my documentary, and Betty's talking about her experience and what her mother was telling her. And
yeah, so we're going to go to that. Okay. Now, you had mentioned while they're setting up the clip that she was victimized, mm-hmm. And she had been on the street, and
she's a prostitute and ex-heroin addict at the time she was arrested. Yes, she was.
And they took advantage of that fact?
Yes, they did. The police actually beat 2 witnesses into telling them that she had been at the spot where the man was killed, and she wasn't there at all. And they beat her for 14 hours.
Wow.
It's so important to show this, you know, because a lot of people, they don't believe that you could be beat into signing a confession like that. And
so did she serve her full time?
She served 25 years for that. And the state basically gave her, you know, chicken and a biscuit and told her to go on. And,
really?
you know, I just, you know, as a woman of color, that was very inspirational for me. And I think people in America really need to hear about these stories. These are social issues that really need to be addressed. And how can we change this around? And hopefully my film or my documentary can encourage other people. If you see police brutality, if you see something that's unjust to anybody, whether they be a person of color, white, Caucasian, Hispanic, say something, do something about it. Just don't sit there and do nothing.
Right.
You know.
I know there are a lot of there's a case in the media now where there was police brutality against a young woman, in fact, and they're being brought up on charges. The cops involved. So, do you think that documentaries like yours have influenced people to speak out and to speak out against police brutality?
I'm not really sure right now. I'm just relocating to the Brooklyn area, but I'm hoping that my documentary encourages people, uplifts people to do the right thing, and to encourage them, if you know of police brutality, or if you know of an issue that is not right, to let it be known.
Okay, so I see that the first clip is there.
It's got to be a reason, you know, because he's just not doing this to do it. And I used to cry, Mother, and I said, but I want to get out, I want to do this. She says, child, just pray, just pray, just pray. I'm like, we always talking about just pray, and I cry, I mean,
Now, you had mentioned earlier that you were a victim of police brutality. Are you willing to share with us?
Actually, I don't have a problem with sharing, because I believe every filmmaker has a part of their life, if not their whole life, in their film. And basically, I was beaten with me and my 3 children at this was 1993, at the Long Island Railroad Station, which was at Penn Station in New York. I was beat by 2 police officers, 2 white police officers that beat me, kicked my daughter in her back, slapped my son, and then they charged me with inciting a riot, and they charged me with disorderly conduct, and another charge that was thrown out of court. So I didn't eat for 3 days. I did fast at that time because I felt that I was a victim at that time, which I was, because apparently threw it out of court. At that time in my life, I was very distraught. I didn't know where to go, and eventually I picked up a camera and I started saying, I've got to let this out in some kind of way, and I did.
And how about your children? What was
my daughter was affected. For I think 2 months I really didn't kind of counteract with as far as going outside a lot. I kind of stayed inside the house, lost my job because I was devastated by the experience I went through. Okay. So, and I think that my films are a reflection of myself to make this world a better place, and a reflection of change, because we do need so much change here. We really do.
Now we have a second clip that's coming up. Now what are we going to see with this one?
Okay, the second clip is, I believe, her attorney, John Getz, a very bright attorney from the University of Buffalo, who talks about what happened and how she was beaten.
So I thought that if I didn't sign that, they would my mother would have found me in the ditch, or somebody, I don't know. They said that if you don't sign it, you'll be found in a ditch. I'm like, wow, you know, this could be real, you know. Because I know that because they took me out at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm thinking, you know, I can escape, but I know if they can take you out of police custody at that time of morning, that they could just as well take you and kill you and throw you in a ditch. So I signed the papers after the numerous times of being beaten, okay, which was something that is a sad thing, you know, to be beaten by big-ass men. Like, this is crazy. It's crazy.
It doesn't get any more basic as to what happened to her. She was beaten into making a statement, and she didn't even make the statement. She signed the statement that was typed up in front of her, and this was after 19 hours of coerced and literally third-degree forcing of her signing this documentation. And actually,
county jail, they don't do nothing but stare and watch the soap opera.
So she was forced. Did the police give a reason as to why they insisted on doing it, or was it just?
Well, basically, William Mahoney was a very dirty cop in 1973, and he is dead now. Basically, what had happened is he tried to get the mafia and get charges against them, and of course they in turn showed that he was a very dirty cop, and he was accepting money and bribes and doing things he had no business. He had 7 civil cases against this man, which was kind of amazing how they could let this detective still be on the street after 7 civil cases of people complaining they've been beat to death. And I just, you know, after researching it, I wasn't embraced with love when I was researching this documentary. In fact, I had several doors from CBS and other affiliates that slammed the door in my face and did not want to give me any kind of testimony, any kind of, they didn't want to talk to me.
Okay, so now we're seeing this.
I had my mother with me, you know, and directly after I got released, my mother passed. And that's the most devastating thing that has happened to me. I think it's even worse than doing 25 years, you know, because somebody that you've known from birth, and then when you get out, you plan on doing things together. And then she didn't vanish, but she went home.